All right, so we are gonna show you the best muscles to use your massage drill on and pretty much how to do that. So we're just gonna cover a few. These are my favorite places to use my massage drill. Most effective, most necessary, saves your joints, and gets a really good quick release. Now, he may not actually need all of these right now, but he's going to be a really wonderful model for us, and let me drill him. So, to do TFL, in the hip, Serratus Anterior, and the subscap, those are all going to be with someone face up, okay? So we've got them supine. So I'm going to just turn it on. I'm going to turn it up pretty high. Again, they have different settings. I usually like mine around like mid-20s, but it depends on what you're going for. So we're just gonna palpate a little and we're gonna get right in there. Usually it feels kind of good, kind of silly, kind of good though. So you wanna make sure you're over clothing. Very occasionally, you can use one for a brief amount of time on the skin, but you really don't want to. Mostly you wanna be over clothing so it doesn't aggravate the skin. Because you do get some redness, a little bit of activation inflammation, natural amount for it to relieve itself. There we go. So I like to kind of roll the leg a little when I'm doing TFL and get in here, work all along the iliac crest on the outside. Sometimes we can get the glutes even from this side, but we're pretty focused on TFL. So then I'll have him bend his knee. And we're gonna go into like we were, and then we work it from here. This is a really lovely spot where you can even get on the table and then move the knee around. So you can get it from a shortened position and you can lengthen. So it's a little bit of a pin and move with your vibration tool. And you can feel into what works for you, but this is one of my favorite ways to work TFL. And typically you hang out here until you feel a pretty good juicy whoosh release, right? That's how I like to describe it, but it's different in everyone else's body. That's just a sensation that somehow translates. All right, so since we're showing you multiple, I'm not gonna hang out here forever. And then we're gonna extend that. And actually for him, you can see his leg is a little less flopsy there. I'm gonna do his other side, but we'll do that when we're not on video, just for sake of time. So now getting into serratus, this can be a little uncomfortable. Again, this is what we do the drill after release. So I would do muscle energy technique or, resist, relax stuff before using the drill. And then this is for those stubborn trigger points that don't want to let go, or they're like almost letting go, then it's a great time. Or if you're just looking to save yourself some time and you don't have the ability to do the muscle energy technique or whatever, then this is a great time saver. So again, we're going to turn up our drill. He's going to keep his breathing nice and full. And then we just come in here on serratus. It can be intense, so we don't want to go too hard. It's really about just making contact in the right spot, breathing nice and deep. Good. You're doing really good. Yeah. Again, I usually encourage emotions, emoting, vocalizing.
Oh, just trying to think about something.
Pumpkin pie, pumpkin pie.
Ice cream.
Ice cream, pumpkin pie. See him wiggling his toes. He's working it out. It's good. Good. So yeah, you just work along the serratus here. There we go. We got a little.
Yeah, almost to the heart.
Almost to the heart. Wrong side of the body, but we're close.
Yeah, you're going a weird way. That's how I did.
Okay, so that is serratus. Usually that releases within 30 seconds to a minute. If you haven't gotten some form of release, then you don't want to keep going. So this position he's in with his hand up above his head is perfect for getting into subscap. So we're gonna just go right in there. So I actually am holding the scapula from behind, and I can see right where I'm getting into here. It's armpit, so you gotta be mindful and careful. Yeah, his serratus anterior really needs a release, so we probably will do muscle energy technique after this because he'll get a good release then. And again, I'm doing this sake of time. So now you can see I've got his arm, it's relaxed, and I can move it so it's a little pin and move while I'm on subscap. This is the best way to access subscap is from the front. So many of us do that under the wing cleaning, which is lovely. Doing okay? Yeah, there we go. There we go. Yeah, thank you. So I was getting deep because I was talking. And because we got deep and then released it. So yeah, you got to be mindful. But he's actually getting some really good release. I can feel it happening in the back of his shoulder too. So really, really good. Yeah. Yeah, we're just working it out. Okay. So those are the ones from the front of the body: TFL, Serratus Anterior, Subscapularis. Now we're going to have him turn, and we're all going to be really gracious with him as he turns onto his tummy, and we get him face down. We're going to put on our face cradle, and being gracious because remember he's gone through a little injury, so we're going to get him up here. And now he's gonna be such a good sport. Is this okay?
Well, what? What do you mean?
Are you comfortable? You know.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna support this so his low back doesn't hurt. There you go. And then we're gonna go ahead. This is where you would access QLs if you're gonna use your drill on QLs, which I don't a ton. Sometimes I'll do it seated, sometimes side lying. Typically, from the back, I just like to get the glutes, and occasionally you can, run it over erector spinae and rhomboids and stuff, but that's more of a broad thing when you're using a focused head on your drill and doing more trigger point work specific. Then these are the spots. So like I can feel this is a little reactionary, so I'm gonna get that. He's had to do a lot of sitting as he's been healing from a surgery. So yeah, he's got some reactionary spots. So we're just working the glutes here. And then when you do find those spots that are more reactionary, you just hang out, let them take their deep breaths. This is also, if you're gonna work calves with the drill, you can. You just wanna be really mindful and don't go deep. I would really use really light pressure and just high vibration for the spots in like the gastrocnemius soleus if you're gonna work those with the drill. Again, any spot that doesn't release within a minute, 2 minutes tops, you never need to drill one area longer than 2 minutes. If you do, then you need a different style of release. So, which is fine, just knowing that. Don't just like stay somewhere forever waiting for the drill to release. Yeah, so we're getting glutes. Pretty much I like to kind of go along the whole edge, but again, you hang out where there's more tension. So like he's got that right out here. And the lateral part, insertion. Good. And obviously I would get both sides. And they are different, so you would just do what's needed there. We've got a great release happening there. It's really, really awesome. So we have a lot of spasm, and that's wonderful. It means there's a sweet release happening. And nerve loops are rerouting, so proprioception, hooray! So it was going all the way to both glutes, and, well, I should say all 6 glutes, and down the thigh of the right side as well. And I could even feel a little release happening in the right QL. So pretty cool. Good. So that one's all good. Again, this is where you would hit this area. We're not going to do that on him today. And if you wanted to use it back here, you could. Again, I don't much. It's really, I don't find it to be the most effective thing in those areas. Sometimes calves, very, very rarely, pretty much not at all for me, in the thighs, quads or hams. But yeah, hip area, calves, shoulders, fabulous. Armpit, fabulous. So we've got that. Now I think we're going to have him go ahead and move to a seated position for me. Hanging your head or your legs off the edge by the mirror, please. And then I'm gonna just scoot you guys so you can see him a little bit. Okay. So his injury's on the left, so we're only gonna do the infraspinatus on this side. Love, love, love the drill for infraspinatus. I often like to couple exercises here, so you just, make sure that you're actually in the area of infraspinatus. Usually you've already previously palpated to make sure that this is something that needs your release. You've done your test where they move their hand to the opposite shoulder, and they show you their limitation. So we hang out wherever it's needed. Often you will get movement of the shoulder, so spontaneous movement of the shoulder or neck or arm or whatever will often happen when you're here, and that is just fine. Again, that is release happening. So I like to keep my hand on for clarity and awareness and feedback. So it's telling me if if I'm actually getting anything happening. For a lot of people, when this is a big one that doesn't want to release, or it's like a major pattern for them, infraspinatus issues, I will usually, like I said, use other neural distractions. So I'll have them move, like, Ricky, move your right hand to your left shoulder. So you just got to be mindful of where you're putting this. Deep breath in and out. And then bring your right hand, the back of your right hand, to the back of your right hip. Mm-hmm. Yep. You got it. To the back of your right hip. So back here. Mm-hmm. Yes, good. Yeah. So this is a good one. And then big breath in. And bring it over to touch your left knee. Sweet. And big breath in, and bring it back to your right hip, just the front of the right hip. Good. And then relax it. Good. So that's one that I'll do. Sometimes we'll also do where I have somebody while I'm working on that, and I'll have them do cross your eyes to the tip of your nose, cross your eyes to the eyebrows. Move your eyes, keep your head straight, move your eyes all the way to the left. While I'm drilling, I'm doing this. Keep your head straight, move your eyes all the way to the right. Okay, stick your tongue out all the way to the right, eyes all the way to the left. So people are doing these funny things, and it's incredible how much more release they can get. So when you're using the drill in the shoulder area, doing neurological distraction is so profound. The release you'll get, people will be like laughing, you're like, why am I doing this? And then when you're done and you go back and palpate the areas, they're like, oh wow, that's amazing. So that is how you use your tool. Again, always over clothing. If you're using the tool and they're on the massage table and they're already naked, you can just put a sheet over them and then drill. Because again, you don't want to do it right on the skin because it can really aggravate the skin. So just make sure that there's some cotton or something in between the drill and their body. Okay, hope that was helpful.